Hey, my name is Maria Lloyd. I'm author of Words Are Wealth and the owner of a marketing firm named Opens Clicks Cash. Now, today I want to talk about something that is extremely important that I think oftentimes gets overlooked, and that is your key performance indicators as it relates to email marketing. Now, you may be wondering what in the world is a key performance indicator, and I'm so glad that you asked if that is what you're wondering. A key performance indicator is just basically your analytics, it's your data. It basically helps you figure out whether or not your campaign was a success. Okay, so it's just the numbers. We're looking at the numbers here. And from this point forward, you will hear me refer to key performance indicators as KPIs. That's the commonly used term in my industry when we're talking about the analytics for our campaigns. We're oftentimes going to refer to them as KPIs. So from this point forward, when I say KPIs, you know what I'm referring to. So what are some KPIs that you should be looking for? Well, first and foremost, when you're forming an email campaign, it's important that you establish these KPIs in the very beginning. And the reason why is because it kind of helps you figure out what needs to be done to get to that end goal, right? And then even when you've fulfilled your email campaign and you're going back and looking at your data, now you can kind of figure out, okay, this is where the ball is being dropped. So this is where we can make some improvements moving forward. Okay, so it's really important that before you even get started writing your first email, you want to make sure first and foremost that you are very clear on the KPIs, right? On the key performance indicators. So one of the first key performance indicators that you want to look for is the click-through rate. And the click-through rate is basically when the person clicks on something in your email, okay? So if they've clicked on your call to action, which may be a link that literally says click here, that is your click-through rate, right? That counts as part of your click-through rate. If they click on an image, maybe you're asking them to click on an image, a button, right? All of these things inside of your email, anywhere that they click and they're led somewhere else, that is a part of your click-through rate. And so it's very important because obviously when we're writing these emails, especially when we're launching an email campaign, we want people to take some sort of action. We're not just sending emails to make ourselves feel good. We are sending emails with the intent of getting some sort of conversion. Sometimes the conversion may be follow me on, Insta or subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? Sometimes the conversions are more transactional. Hey, purchase my book. Hey, purchase this shirt, right? So make sure that, you're definitely trying to figure out what that click-through rate is. And if you're ever lost or if you ever kind of need a baseline to figure out what is the common or the average click-through rate is in your industry, just make sure you go and Google search it, okay? Because it does vary from industry to industry. But the point is, it's important that you establish that from the very beginning and have realistic expectations. That's why I'm saying that you need to Google search for your own industry. What is the average click-through rate? Because you don't want to say, oh, I want a 50% click-through rate. Well, everybody wants a 50% click-through rate, right? So make sure that you Google search what is the average industry, so that way you can make sure you are setting some realistic expectations. The next one that you want to look at, the next KPI that you want to look at are those hard bounce rates. Now, a hard bounce just means that these are email addresses that are invalid or no longer accepting emails, right? Maybe the inbox is so full that they can no longer accept emails. And so the hard bounce rate is very important because we have a responsibility to maintain the integrity of our email address, of our domain name. And so the best way to do that is to make sure that when we're sending emails, we're sending those emails to contacts that actually want to receive those emails from us. So the hard bounce rate, again, you will want to Google search what is the average for your industry, but either way, make sure that you're getting rid of those emails that are considered hard bounces, okay? Because they're not helping, they're actually hurting your email reputation. So just go ahead and remove those from your account. The next one that you want to look at is the soft bounce rate. So these are email addresses in which, the emails that you're sending are bouncing back because the person's inbox has gotten too full. And so maybe this is something new. It's not, a recurring thing or anything like that. It's not a hard bounce. It's a soft bounce. So in that case, you may want to put that contact on pause for a week or two and then try again and see what happens. And if it's still bouncing, you can feel free to, either contact them directly via phone or even via snail mail, United States Postal Mail. and just inform them, hey, we've been sending emails to this particular email address and they're bouncing back. That's one way you can re-engage them, or you can simply just remove them from your list. Okay. Another KPI that you want to look at are the unsubscribe rates. Now, again, it's very important that you look at your industry average because this will vary from industry to industry. But I will let you know if you're finding that you're getting, like a 5% unsubscribe rate with one email, a 10% unsubscribe rate with one email, those are pretty alarming numbers. Okay. And that means that there's some sort of misalignment. So you definitely want to figure out why your contacts are unsubscribing. Now, I will tell you, an unsubscribe is not always a negative thing. I know that it has this negative connotation, and people oftentimes are like, oh my gosh, people that I know in real life are unsubscribing from my email list. It's totally fine. Trust me, because you don't want people on your email list who aren't going to engage, right? You want quality contacts on your email list. So when someone unsubscribes, to be honest, they're really doing you a favor because they are letting you know without having to actually tell you or express this verbally, hey, I'm no longer interested in the content, or hey, my life is in a different direction. It has nothing to do with your content, nothing to do with your business or your brand, but my life is in a different direction and I don't want to get this content anymore. And that is totally fine. So please don't get bent out of shape if you're noticing that people have unsubscribed. But again, if you're noticing some higher unsubscribe rates per email, then yes, you probably should be a little bit concerned because there appears to be a bit of a misalignment. Now, last but not least, you'll notice I did skip one KPI that is commonly referred to, and that is the open rate.